Hi everyone, in this video we're going to learn how to create the do nothing machine. So this is part one of a 8-part series. So this is going to be the creation of the base. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So as you can see here, this is what the base is going to look like once it's all completed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down and I'm going to create a new part studio. Now, if you are starting off fresh, you do not need to create a new part studio, just be in the part studio that you've already created. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert new element and I'm going to go to create part studio. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on my top plane, click on new sketch, right click again, and click on view normal sketch plane. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my toolbar and I'm going to select my rectangle option and I'm going to select corner rectangle. Then I'm going to go from one corner of the top plane all the way down to the corner that is diagonally opposite to it. Then I'm going to click the escape button and I'm going to dimension this to 150 and 150 millimeters. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the sketch because this is essentially what your base is going to be at until we're going to remove some sections. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into isometric view by coming to this gray box, clicking and going to isometric. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to extrude, select my sketch, and then I'm going to make my extrusion symmetric. But a symmetric extrusion does is it makes half of your extrusion on top of your sketch plane and half on the bottom of your sketch plane. The depth I'm going to make 35 millimeters. So then I'm going to finish my sketch. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create these grooves that you see here, this groove. Let's create that now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to this side, going to right click, click on new sketch and go to front view. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a trapezoid. So I'm going to go to my line tool. So remember, follow the exact order that I'm going to create this trapezoid in. Otherwise, your dimension is not going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first start off by creating the bottom base, move and create this leg, then the top base, and then the bottom and your second leg. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dimension the bottom to 25 millimeters. Sorry, double click if you exit your dimensions on accident. And then I'm going to make the angle. So I'm going to take one leg and go to the base and I'm going to expand it this way, not this way, this way. This will give you the interior angle, but if you extrude it this way, it's going to give you the exterior angles. So always extrude outwards and make it 76 degrees. Then go to your equal constraint and equate these two legs. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this line over here coincident to this little line over here. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to go and I'm first going to create a midpoint on this trapezoid. So I'm going to hover over the entire trapezoid line until I see this rectangle. So if you see this rectangle, that shows you the midpoint constraint. So this is the midpoint of the base of this trapezoid. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my constraints tool, I'm going to select coincident, and I'm going to constrain this midpoint to the midpoint of the origin. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this blue line at the top base of the trapezoid to this top line of the base. So there we go, like so. I'm going to re-enter front plane to recenter. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to first check this. Actually, no, I'm not going to check this. I'm going to copy this sketch, right click, or actually, I'm going to, finish the sketch. Then I'm going to enter isometric. Then I'm going to come to this plane, right click, and click on new sketch. Then what I'm going to do is since I want to create the same grooves here and on this way, I'm going to copy sketch 2 by coming to the features tab, right clicking, and clicking on copy sketch. Then I'm going to go to my sketch plane, right click, and click on paste sketch entities, and then check on my right click to check. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter right view, and I'm going to use the coincident constraint to constrain the midpoint to the origin of the plane. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the top plane, the top bar, the top base, and constrain it to this space. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the green check button. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude, re-entering isometric. Then I'm going to extrude, and I'm going to go into remove, and I'm going to select both of these entities. And I'm going to select sorry, through all. Okay, so I'm actually going to select one at a time to make it so that Onshape doesn't get confused. Oops. See, I did not select only one. I selected 2, so there we go. And then I'm going to extrude this one. I'm going to go into remove, click through all, which will make it remove it entirely through the path of the extrusion. Then I'm going to click the green check button, and I'm going to hide these planes so it makes it easier to do the next step. So I'm going to hide all of my plane. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fillet all of these edges. Oops. Okay. So I'm going to fillet all of these edges. Now what the fillet feature does is it rounds the edges. It rounds the edges of any entity that you're going to select. So I'm going to go to fillet, make sure my radius is on 5 millimeters. My cross section is circular, and I'm going to use tangent propagation so I can fillet all of the edges that I select. And I have edge overflow checked. So I'm going to select the outer edges of the base, like so. And then I'm going to check the green check button to confirm the fillets. Then I'm going to go back into isometric. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color as well as the part name. So I'm going to right click on my part, rename it, and I'm going to rename it to base part. Then what I am going to do is I'm going to right click again and go to edit appearance. I'm going to edit the appearance and I'm going to assign the color of this color. So if you go to palette, you'll get these 3 columns. And in the third column, in the middle column, go and select the second color. Then click the green check button to confirm. And then enter isometric once again. And then rename your part studio. So right click on your part studio 1, click on rename and name it base. And I'm just going to delete my previous base so that I can make sure that you see it. You can just see one base. So you only need one base, you don't need 2. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions, as always, please do put them down in the comments, and I'll be sure to get back to you by either responding to the comment or addressing it in my next video. Thank you so much. Bye.